The charts are showing some bullish bias, and we have a huge catalyst today and tomorrow. So is the Bitcoin bull ready to run? What's up, my milk money millionaires? I'm Joshua, and I believe you don't have to be rich to get rich. You just have to grow that money pile, and today I have some news on Bitcoin that might just help us get that money pile pumping. I'm going to get into some charts, then talk about what could be a catalyst, and lastly, how I'm playing this move. First, of course, remember, I am not a financial advisor, just a YouTuber who loves this stuff. So please do your own research and invest at your own risk. So we had a huge run-up in December and January, followed by a sharp correction, and we have been consolidating for a few weeks now. As we know, big moves to the upside in any asset usually need a pullback and a rest before continuing the bullish trend. During this sideways consolidation, often investors may have jitters, not knowing if it's going to crash or fly again, and we see this back and forth battle in this wedge pattern. The bigger the preceding move, the longer the consolidation needs to be. Also, the longer the consolidation, the bigger the break to either side, as all the jitters get resolved and people rush in to be part of the next move, whether it's up or down. So as we dig into the chart, we can see this pattern and some bullish things forming. So throughout December, Bitcoin went from this 1900 price around the beginning of December all the way up to a high of 42,000-ish. Okay, so it's a huge move, doubling in over a month. Absolutely insane. That's a huge move, and that huge move needs a big break, and that's what we got in the beginning to middle of January, where Bitcoin basically plummeted from 41,000 all the way down to under 30,000 briefly before popping back up again. So when this happened, a lot of people got scared out of Bitcoin. A lot of people sold off. Is this the crash? Bitcoin has a history of rocketing and crashing in the past. And so is this what's happening? So when you see something like this, a lot of investors, a lot of traders get nervous and don't know what to expect. So there's a lot of people waiting on the sidelines. So that's where we get into this consolidation period. Now, during this consolidation period, traders and investors are trying to decide which way Bitcoin's going to go. They're like, it can't go any higher because it just went insane last month. It just crashed. Is it going to crash again? And so a lot of times people watch. But what starts to happen over time in this consolidation pattern, as the price goes up and down, up and down, up and down, you start to develop a floor of support, which 30,000 has held as a very strong support line. It has been tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times and always recovered. So we have this really strong floor, and then when it recovers, it bounces up again, and you get this strong ceiling. And this creates what's called a wedge pattern. All right, and this pattern, where the top line is coming down and the bottom line stays flat, is usually a bullish wedge. So what that means is it's more likely to break to the upside rather than the downside. Now, none of these things are 100%. This is just a pattern on what usually happens and what likes to happen. But finally, as all this indecision was building up, finally Bitcoin broke to the upside. And it broke, I believe this was the day that Elon Musk was talking about Bitcoin, and it went nuts, and then it pulled back right away. So oftentimes when you have a wedge pattern like this, is you have a breakout day and then a retest. So the people that had been in here nervous and jittery saw the big price spike, and they leave their positions and get out. They're like, yes, I finally got my money back, and they leave, and then you retest the support. Now, if it touches this upper line as support and moves to the upside again, that's extremely bullish, because all the people that wanted to move forward and believe in it are now rushing in. They're seeing that the price pattern is broken, and we have a new move to the upside. So once you have a breakout and some confirmation over a couple of days, this becomes more and more bullish. And so now we can say that we are almost clearly in a definite uptrend, especially if this goes another day or two. So you can draw this trend line from the previous low down to these lows, and you're going to have a pretty strong line of support here. Also, the moving averages are turning to the upside. So I believe, looking at the technicals, we are looking very good for Bitcoin. Now, where you might want to enter, you can see it's made a big move over the last 2 days. You might feel nervous that you're chasing. Maybe you wait a day or two to see if it pulls back to this trend line, and you could feel safer. Kind of like over here, we had the first big move on the breakout of this long consolidation. It pulled back to the moving average and then exploded upwards. So, you might be risking missing this large run up if you wait too long. I try to make a habit of buying on red days just to keep me from chasing. So maybe I'd wait tomorrow, watch how it looks, or maybe there'll be a low of the day. But it is looking very bullish on the charts. So again, charts are just a way to analyze what has been happening and get clues on trader and investor psychology and patterns that may or may not continue. More important than just these patterns are fundamentals and catalysts. It doesn't matter how bad or great a chart looks if a company gets busted for fraud or announces some great new invention, for instance. So does Bitcoin have any catalyst to push us one way or the other? Yes. All right. Michael Saylor, the Microvast CEO who has been getting tons of attention for investing and profiting greatly from putting some of his company's cash reserves into Bitcoin a year ago. Michael Saylor is hosting the Bitcoin for Corporations conference today and tomorrow, where he plans on explaining his macro strategy, Bitcoin corporate strategy, a Bitcoin corporate playbook, Bitcoin legal considerations, as well as presentations and tools on vendors to use to get into Bitcoin. So, how can this help us make money? As of this morning, 1,400 members of corporations had signed up for this conference. Now that's 1,400 potential investors with huge pocketbooks. If Saylor does a really good job in presenting his case, we could see hundreds of large companies and corporations putting in a portion of their large cash reserves into Bitcoin. Even if this doesn't happen in large amounts, I believe that the perception of this happening could cause speculators to pump it up anyway. So how am I trading it? I've been adding to my Bitcoin positions over the last few weeks as it has been bouncing between 30,000 and 34,000. Now that it's breaking to the upside, I'm buying a little bit more. You might want to wait for a red day or a little pullback in this trend, but I would honestly be afraid of waiting too long and end up chasing it when it breaks above 40,000. Also, if you don't have a lot to put in and you just want to trade this price action, you could maybe even buy some Litecoin, as it typically follows the movement of Bitcoin, and sometimes the moves are a little bit bigger, being that it's a cheaper coin to begin with. However, if you want to buy and hold, then Bitcoin is probably the better bet of the two, as it is the more proven of the two currencies. If you want more price alerts as well as reviews of other cryptocurrencies and traditional stocks, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Again, I'm Joshua. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, where hopefully our crypto wallets are a little bit fatter. Peace.